We are about to start our keynote speech. So for this year, our guest is Mr. Benoit Fouillin, a professional with an international career who joined Criteo. Criteo, okay, I promise, I was trying for half an hour. And transformed it into a public company from 200 million to close to 2 billion in revenues. Okay, this one, I knew it properly. Okay, I hope you enjoy, and don't forget the feedback surveys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very pleased to be here to share some of the highlights of the Criteo story with you. I think the best way to get a quick introduction about who we are as a company is just to watch a short video. I'm sure that you don't enjoy video every day in this type of conferences. So let's watch this short video. So, no question, there is energy and passion at Criteo. I think you could feel it through the video. So, what I would like is to give you an overview first of who we are as a company before we go back to what has been the main phases of the success of the company. So, the best way maybe to start, and I start generally all presentation about the company by our motto: performance is everything, and it's much more than a marketing slogan. It's what is at the heart of the success of this company. Because our mission is pretty simple, in fact. We are in business with one single purpose, which is to generate sales, incremental sales for our clients, the commerce company and the brands, and to generate these incremental sales at scale, which is quite difficult, and to do that at the targeted ROI of our clients. So that's the art of what we do. And this company is first and foremost a tech company. It's a technology company. I'd like to remind that we ended up in online advertising almost by chance. And that's often like that in business when you start a company. What is at the origin of this company is passion, engineer passion for machine learning, far before this word became very fashionable. So 3 engineers met, 2 really tech guys who were mates from university. They met with a third entrepreneur, Jean-Baptiste Rudel. So the 2 tech guys were Romain Nicoli and Franck Louet. They were mates from l'École des Mines. And they were a bit bored working in the R&D department of Microsoft in Redmond. And they had the dream of creating something from technology. They met Jean-Baptiste, who had been an entrepreneur, passionate also about the internet and passionate about technology. And it's only after 2 years looking at applying machine learning that they realized that through technology they could disrupt massively the market of online advertising in creating what was a completely new pure performance solution in what we call display advertising, so those banners that you are pretty familiar with. And why is it a pure performance solution that they invented through technology? It's because it's a solution where not only the clients, the commerce companies and now the brands, are paying based on engagement, so they pay only when their potential customers are engaging with advertising. So it's a CPC, what we call a cost per click model. So as an advertiser, you pay only when your prospect has engaged with the advertising. But more importantly, you are able to measure the impact. So it brings measurability through technology to the impact of advertising. On the main problem in online advertising, and in advertising overall, but in online advertising, has always been the measurement. What is the impact? So very much inspired by what Google had created very successfully in the world of search, bringing cost per click models with measurability based on post-click sales. Through technology, we've created this new performance solution. And that's what is at the heart of the success of the company. So very simplistically, how does it work? If you look at our solution, and I'm talking about the very simple solution, you'll see that we do much more than this today. Everything starts when a user visits the website, so the online shop of one of our clients. Let's assume here it's Aldo. Aldo is a shoe retailer. So the user comes and visits the website and looks at various products that this user is interested in. At that point, because we are directly integrated with our client, so we have code behind the online store where we capture all of the events happening in the store. So just imagine if somebody was following you while you are shopping or while you are looking at product in the store. That's what our technology is doing. And Criteo ultimately is able to capture the behavior and the shopping intent of the user within the online store. As the user leaves the store, having bought something or not having bought something, and the user goes to somewhere else on the internet, at, let's say, the Wall Street Journal or the Financial Times site, what we would call a publisher, then we are able, at the time the user is ultimately reaching this publisher, to identify that user, because we've tagged the user when he was within the shop of our client. And at that point, we have then, because we have identified that user, we know a lot about his shopping or her shopping intent, then we are able to choose or not to choose, to send targeted advertising. And what we mean by targeted, it would be very personalized. It would be based on the shopping intent that person has displayed before. And thanks to the technology, thanks to our predictive algorithm, we are able to price this opportunity. What is the probability that if we send an ad to that person, this person is going to click on the ad, but not only, is going to convert and buy the product. And that's what we do. Then we identify the user. We display the advertising banner, and there is lots of complexity from a technology standpoint. And once the client, or the client of our client, the prospect of our client, has clicked on the advertising and convert, we can measure the sale for our client. And that's what the solution is doing. And that's what brings, ultimately, this accountability and measurability that didn't exist before. So, that's a very simple, I would say, core initial solution. But today, we have extended our presence, and we have a true performance marketing platform strategy, meaning that we are not only making advertising in display, but we are now advertising across multiple marketing channels, display being still a core marketing channel for us, but we are also using targeted email, and more recently we also launched a search product where we bring additional performance on the top of Google Shopping. And we do that through several marketing channels, but more importantly, we do that across all screens. we live in a world of mobility. You all know that. You start your day on one device, and throughout the day you use 2, 3, 4 devices. So the capability of being able to display advertising through those multiple devices is critical, but even more importantly, the capabilities that are required to identify the users through those devices is something which is extremely valuable for marketers today. And we have developed a full mobile solution as early as 2013, and we have now developed a cross-device capability. So we have what we call a user graph that enables us to follow the user across their various devices. So, what have been the phases of the development of the company to get to what I was describing as this platform strategy today? Everything started in 2005, and the first phase was what I would call the R&D development phase. 2005, the 3 engineers I was just describing met. They decided to launch something, and in 2005 they started with 6 employees initially. And throughout those early years of development, all of the focus was on bringing the best talent from an R&D standpoint to develop an initial solution. And after 3 years, we had reached 30 employees, and in 2008, it's where the initial solution was put together. It became very clear that disruption was brought in the market by our solution. It was clear through how it was received in France, but very early we decided to move internationally, and the first opening was in the UK. Then from 2008, 2008 was the first year where we generated revenue. I think it was €1 million of revenue in 2008. And at that point, that's where really truly the international expansion started. Opening the US in 2009. That's one of the features of the company. It's from day one, when we saw that the product was successful, we saw big. We saw the opportunity as a global opportunity. This was something new. Immediately, at that time, Jean-Baptiste Rudel decided to move to Palo Alto. If we want to be successful, we need to be in the US, which was quite blunt at that time, with only 80 employees on 1 million of revenue the year before. And that was a very sound decision, even if the US, the initial development of the US, and we can talk about that later on, was tough, because it's a tough market. It's a large market, but it's a tough market. And then we opened Germany, Sweden, and started Asia, looking at the Asia opportunity immediately. Again, we saw big, say, if we have something which is unique, let's bring it to the Asian market. In 2011, we've reached by the end of the year 400 employees. And we opened, Japan. We opened, Japan in New York, which was very critical for our ability to develop our presence in the US. We could not do that only from Palo Alto. We are a tech company, but in advertising, and advertising happens in New York. Japan, very long to open Japan, but a massive market opportunity, and we've been extremely successful in Japan. Australia, Brazil, and the Netherlands. I joined the company myself at that time, early 2012, and at this point it was already clear that we had a very scalable product and a scalable model. The company turned profitable at EBITDA level in 2009, was profitable net income level probably in 2010. So it was very rapid in terms of success, thanks to this product that was a real disruptive product in the marketplace. Then in 2012, we started advertising on Facebook. So already, in terms of publishers, we've been very early a partner of Facebook on Facebook. We were extending our presence from a publisher standpoint. 2012, when I joined the company, was also the time where we decided that it was important to prepare ourselves to become a public company. And I'll come back to the reason behind that later on. And we continued very rapidly the development. Preparing to go public. We went public in October 2013, but at the same time, further strengthening our presence in Asia. We opened a presence in Singapore in order to be able to develop a presence in Southeast Asia out of Singapore. We opened China, very tough market, big bet, but we opened our presence in China at the end of 2013, and then continued through 2014 with Russia. In Spain, we created a mid-market platform, so a telesales platform out of Barcelona, where we have more than 200 people now. We opened Turkey as well in 2014. And then we further extended our presence in the US in 2015, started our presence in the Middle East with opening an office in Dubai. We extended our presence in North America, in Canada. Throughout that development, we have enhanced our platform. So we added email in 2014, we developed cross-device in 2015. Then in 2016, we had two critical inflection points. We launched the Criteo predictive search product that I talked about very briefly earlier, and we made an acquisition, more significant than the one we did before. This is the sixth acquisition we've done. That acquisition of HookLogic is quite a critical one for us because it opens a new opportunity. It's to address directly the brands, not only the commerce companies, but the brands. HookLogic has created something very unique. They've created a marketplace where brands, so the Procter & Gamble of these worlds, the Lego, the Intel, can spend based on performance marketing, so the same mechanism, cost per click, measurability based on post-click sales, and they can do that on the website of the large retailers. So HookLogic has convinced Walmart, has convinced Target, Costco in the US, that there was an opportunity for them to monetize traffic on their website through performance marketing, selling advertising to brands. So that's a very smart move that they've done, very consistent with what we do, and that opens for us a new market opportunity. So who are the clients? So we've got 13,000 clients, so just a couple of them there in commerce. So in commerce we cover retail, we cover travel. So retail is pure player like Zalando, La Redoute has been almost from the beginning a client here in France. But we are also very strong in travel with Booking.com, Expedia, clients like this. We have also presence in classified in France, sites like Le Bon Coin, other sites of that type. And we now are addressing the brands directly through the HookLogic acquisition, where you have a variety of brands coming from technology with Intel or Canon, through to L'Oreal and others. So we have a business model that has very unique attributes thanks to this pure performance focus. I'll go quite quickly. We are very attractive. We are adding an inflow of, on average, over the last 4 quarters, close to 1,900 new clients every quarter. So we are very attractive to commerce companies. We are a direct model, so we don't need any intermediary to generate value to our clients, and that's very powerful in terms of recurring nature of the relationships that we have with our clients. We have very high retention rate. High retention rate combined with always-on spending patterns that you see in performance marketing makes it very much a recurring flow of revenue. And we have something which is very unique is there is lots of elasticity in the demand in our business because there is exact measurability of the impact of the advertising, meaning that advertising is not anymore for our clients a kind of discretionary marketing expense. It's integrating within their operating cost base, and they are ready, they are incentivized in fact to spend more, so to capture more volume of incremental sales when they see opportunity to spend at their targeted ROI. So that's very powerful and create leverage in our model. Very exponential revenue growth, so when I joined the company in 2005, we were the year before on the run rate of 200 million. I joined in March. And if I look now, we are close to the 2 billion mark. So this is not material public information. Don't worry, this is just the average of the street consensus for the year. That gives you an idea of the growth, and obviously exponential growth of the client base during that time. And we are a very global company now with offices all across the world, 30 offices. We've got 21 subsidiaries with people on the ground. We do business, run online advertising campaigns in 90 countries. So that's who we are. So how did we get there from a funding standpoint? That's maybe what you are really interested in. So we had a very, I would say, interesting strategy. This company is located here in the 9th arrondissement. It's very global, but it was founded in France. And it looks like pretty much a Californian startup in Paris in the way it's been funded. So only funded by VCs. One of the characteristics of the business was that it's highly capital efficient. When I joined the company had raised 17 million cumulatively. 17. We had 200 million of run rate. And when I joined, and they say, how much cash do we have? I look on the balance sheet, we had 15 million of cash. So, which is quite amazing. Obviously, the cash was not where you needed it, and there was lots of issues around it, but it was very frugal in terms of capital consumption, which has allowed us, in fact, when we went public, we had raised cumulatively 47 million, 30 of which, the one that we raised with Jean-Baptiste just after I joined, the Series D, have never been used, basically. It was just safety net for us. So this is very unique of a company that has found its success in terms of product through massive technology disruption rapidly. That being said, if we look at the funding, we have been funded initially by seed investors, French VCs. They have been very some. One of them is still a shareholder today. Then rapidly during the international expansion, we ultimately worked with European VCs initially, with Index Ventures. Idinvest also funded again in Series B and Series B2. And then when we moved to the US, we were smart at that point also to tap into US investors because they brought also a lot of their relationship to us when we were entering the US. And as we were preparing for the IPO, we wanted from a safety standpoint to get the last round before the IPO. We raised with US VCs, but also with Asian investors, which was very helpful and helped us sign a unique deal with Yahoo Japan in Europe. So a very well thought, we are lucky as well in terms of the steps, but very well thought strategy from a funding standpoint. So the big question, and that was one of the first questions that was raised when I joined the company. I joined myself with NASDAQ experience because I'm an ex-business object person, so I knew the NASDAQ pretty well. I was betting when I joined the company that this company would go public in the US. It's a bit of a shame being here in Europe to say that, but why that? It's very simple. We had VCs that had been within the capital of the company since the inception. We didn't have any intermediate rounds where liquidity was sought from the VCs. They've been really very loyal to the company, and the company was very successful as well. But those guys needed to get some liquidity at some point. So the risk of execution of the transaction, just being successful as a tech IPO in a market which is quite complex. The internet is complex. Ad tech, advertising technology is quite complex within the internet. So the risk of execution in Europe was much higher. No comparable, no company, even internet IPO that had been done recently at that point. So that was one aspect. The second aspect is liquidity. After the risk of the execution, what comes next is what's the liquidity. If you look at the liquidity of mid-cap company, at least at that time in Europe, that also pushed towards the US. And the third point is about the ecosystem. If you look at the, purely the research ecosystem, the sell-side analyst, in Europe, there was no internet analyst in Europe. Not to talk about advertising technologies. For all of those reasons, NASDAQ was a natural choice. But NASDAQ doesn't mean that we can't be attractive for European investors. European investors, especially for technology companies, when they don't know well the sector, they like to see the company performing before coming on board. And I think it's what you can see here when we did the IPO. We had 16% of the share capital that was floated at that time. The orange part is the US. You can see it was primarily US investors, a few French investors at the time of the IPO. When we did a follow-on in March 2014, then at that point, we had attracted a bit more anchor investors in France. If you look today, we've got only 40% of our shareholder base in the US. We've got 40% European and now 10% Asian. So you can attract international investors as a European company, technology company. But NASDAQ was the natural choice, and we have 90% of the share capital floated today. So, just to wrap up as a conclusion, so what are the key success factors for tech companies that would like to follow the success of Criteo, especially from a funding strategy standpoint? I think there are really three key factors from a funding standpoint. The first one is about the VC ecosystem. And I think the VC ecosystem, in fact, has changed quite a lot over the last, if we think about when we founded the company initially, which was 10 years ago, or 10 or 8 years ago for the most recent funding in Europe. At that time, you could find very good, smart investor for the initial phase of seeding capital. But to do a round, even the 30 million round that we did in 2012, 30 million round in 2012, it would have been massively visible, and it was impossible to do that for a tech company like us in Paris. Fortunately, this has changed. We've seen more recently much larger tickets, I would say, or funds rounds that have been done in Europe, but I think we should continue to encourage those because most of those have been done with participation of large US investors. So it's in further developing this, I would say, second phase VC, not the initial seed capital guys, in Europe as an ecosystem is one of the critical success factors. The second success factor, and frankly, if we could help by our experience, what would be very pleased, is what a shame that we don't have in Europe a place in terms of an exchange where we could list companies. And that would require, I think the main obstacle is clearly the ecosystem from a research standpoint. It's quite funny to see that the best European analysts now following our stocks are people who were traditional advertising analysts, and through Criteo started to follow technology stocks. Some of them are now following Google and Facebook. And how did they start covering Google and Facebook? Through Criteo. So if you can as an industry promote the development of the ecosystem, that would be a great step to facilitate the access for companies to the kind of funding that they will be. Because to go to the US, it's a big endeavor. You need a lot to go to NASDAQ. You need a lot of means and expertise that not all of the companies that could be very successful can access. And the third point is we should not forget that there's lots of funds to be invested in the US, and we can be very attractive in Europe. There's lots of talent in France in particular, but in Europe. And there's lots of potential interest from US investors to invest in startup. It's already clear because there is a strong US presence, but also to invest in public company. I'm absolutely convinced that with a better ecosystem of research, with comparables, we can attract US investors in Europe. So this is what I I would mention as the three critical factors that the industry should focus on. So that ultimately we can see many more than the ones that we've seen recently, the Criteos, the DBV technologies, the talent of this world, and hopefully instead of seeing them going on NASDAQ, seeing them going on the European exchange. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about the success of Criteo, and I'll be very pleased to take any of your questions. If any.
Are there any examples in the US of serious competitors to you? How do you compare? Are you better than your US equivalents?
So we would love to live in a world without competitors, but yes, of course there are. I would say competing companies in the ecosystem. The beauty of what Criteo has created is that we came with a completely new solution that didn't exist before. So obviously we have attracted other people to the party, and there are small competitors that have emerged, and I would call them generally, with all humility, we call them, kind of guerrilla competitors in each market, because they have emerged. There are a couple in the UK, there was one in Germany, and one or two in the US. We are in a business where scale matters a lot. There is lots of network effect on scale benefits. So it's been very difficult for the small competitors, in fact, to catch up. So we are in a situation where 5 of those direct competitors who had adopted the same model, so based on engagements, cost per click, measurability based on post-click sales, focus on technology, ultimately got sold. So they sold themselves because they've been acquired. So Sociomantic was one of them, the German one was acquired by a subsidiary of Tesco. Telepart in the US was acquired by Twitter. In the UK there was one company called MySings that has been acquired as well. So those small competitors, it's been quite difficult for them to directly compete with us because of the scale that we've reached. So that's one category. Now next to that you've got the very big guys. So the Google of this world, to a certain extent Facebook as well. We are partners with them. So we are partnered with Google. We are one of the biggest buyer on their ad exchange. So we have a kind of strange relationship, but at the same time, they are potentially, theoretically, they have a solution, which is not that strong. We don't find them in direct head-to-head tests that much, but they are potentially the biggest competitor. Today, we are more a friend than an enemy with Google. Now, with Facebook, it's a different relationship. So Facebook is a massive publisher, but Facebook has also developed a direct approach, and is very successful in monetizing inventory. So we are there as well, a partner to them. We bring to them a type of demand which is very unique, ROI-driven demand. But at the same time, they are very pleased to try to go direct to our clients to offer them services that we don't today. So this would be the best way of painting the competition. Big guys, small guys. Yes?
This is a great story. Thank you very much. Where do you go from here?
Where do we go from here? So I think we have, with some of the steps that we took recently, first, we have still a long way to go in our core business. So it's not as if we had exhausted the entire demand. So there is significant demand in the market that we've not tapped on one hand. So if you look at the penetration in the various markets where we operate, we have a long runway of growth just by adding new customers. And also, there is a significant portion of our growth that comes from existing clients. But beside our core business, with the decision we took to enter through HookLogic into an adjacent business, very complementary, to serve directly the brand, offer massive opportunity in front of us. So our vision is really to become the leader of performance marketing, very focused, technology-driven, serving not only commerce companies, but serving also directly the brands, leveraging capabilities in terms of what we call pooled assets. So the cross-device capabilities that we've developed is very unique. So this ability to be able to identify users, build a user graph basically. On this user graph become a very core asset to us that we are starting to share with some of our clients, on making our clients, especially the retail clients, more competitive thanks to these pool assets in front of Amazon in particular. So I think we have a long runway in terms of opportunity in front of us to enlarge our presence beyond what we do today.
What did the private equity investors bring to the table when they started, apart from money?
Apart from money? So, because of the way we've built our strategy, our funding strategy, we're initially seed investor years, and in each of the phase of our international expansion, we picked very high-value partners who were well introduced in the space. I think that some of the first VCs have helped a lot strategically in finding the right model. At the time, we ultimately put together the first solution. In particular, at Index Ventures, we had a dialogue with ex-internet entrepreneurs that knew pretty well our space. So there has been a lot of strategic dialogue with the VCs during the entire, let's say, up to going public. Now we don't have any VC sitting on the board, but it was really a dialogue and a partnership, so they brought much more than just the funds. On relationship as well, it does help as well a lot, especially in Asia. We had, so Yahoo Japan has invested in the company, SoftBank has invested at the same time. SoftBank we did investor in Yahoo Japan, and that has enabled us also to have a very strategic partnership with Yahoo Japan, commercial partnership, that has accelerated a lot of our penetration in the Japanese market. So it's been very much combined with strategic advice.
What are the main threats to your planned growth strategy?
Main threats, so we live in a very complex world. So if you want to read our filings to the SEC, there are probably 40 pages of everything that could go wrong with the company. So if we park that, I think it's probably about maintaining the pace of execution, because we are still a relatively mid-sized company. We've got 2,500 employees now with Uclogic, but operating across 21 countries. It's complex to continue to execute at the pace at which we execute, given all of the various regulatory obligations we are subject to, the access to talent in all of those various countries. So if I was to think about what keeps me awake at night, I sleep well, but if there was something that would keep me awake at night, it would be probably about maintaining the same pace and quality of execution in the market. As the market becomes now much more complex, we are also in the middle of a transition to a multi-product company. We were very much mono-product. We had a blockbuster product. We pushed, we scaled it. Now we are adding what we call Criteo sponsored products. Is a slightly different product with slightly different customers, the brands. We have the search product, which is a big bet technologically. So all of that brings more complexity. So execution and excellence in execution is going to become even more important.
What about the privacy regulations in the EU? How does it impact the business? Because now it's getting more and more tough with a lot of opt-ins instead of opt-outs. How do you take that into account?
No, I mean it's a critical framework for us. We've been very, I would say, early in adopting privacy protection rules for the user in our business. We've been, just to give you an example, now it has become a standard. When you receive a banner ad, you always have a small triangle on the banner ad you can click on and have access to an opt-out. we were the one to introduce that, so it became a practice in the entire market. We have also introduced some notification that we've leveraged as a way as well to reach certain users that we could not reach, like the Apple users, and that has become a standard in the market. So it's one of the criteria of operating in our space is there is privacy regulation. Those privacy regulations are critical to our business. In fact, I know that there is recently a new version of the directive that has been issued, which is in fact, despite what has been put in the press, very consistent with what has been done over the last several years at the EU level, but also working with the regulator in each of the countries, the CNIL here in France. And we have quite a stable environment. I would not agree that everything is changing. It's been quite stable. It's true that there is lots of concern about access to what we call personal identification data, which is driving some of the change in the regulation. We do not use personal identification data, because what we are interested in is not so much who you are, where you live, your bank account. It's very much what are you in the market for. So it's more the shopping intent, which also put us into a better place and in a more stable environment. Yes, no more time. Thank you very much. Thank you.